You told about the initiation the Klan tried to have with you and your refusal to go along with it. Did you feel, at what point in your life did you feel not only that you didn't want to go along with it, but that you wanted to change things?
Well, I think it was, part of it was an intervention of another wonderful soul. After I graduated high school in Mobile, I went to college in Montgomery, Alabama, to my church college, which was the place that we would go. And while I was there, that was where the Montgomery Bus Boycott, Montgomery, Alabama. And Dr. King was there, and Rosa Parks was there, and I was a sociology student at the college, a lily white college. We could have people of color, but they had to be from a foreign country. No one from across town of color could be a student at my college. And yet a mile away was a black college. So when I was doing a paper for a sociology class, and I met Dr. King and I met Rosa Parks, and I made it clear in the beginning that I was doing research. Now, I was also doing research and meeting them because I was intrigued with the struggle and I was challenged by the struggle, but I was doing my best to be a scholar and I thought that a scholar had to be objective and see both sides and so forth. But just getting involved there, just going to Dr. King's church, 4 of us were asked to leave school. We were called into the office of the Attorney General of the state of Alabama, who said we were under the communist influence. And in amazement, I said, "You mean there's communists in Alabama?" And he said, "No, but they come through here." And he said, "You students," there were 5 of us that went to the meeting, he said, "You've fallen under the communist influence." And we just couldn't imagine it because we knew we had a right to go to the meeting. And then the Klan burnt crosses around the dormitory. There was a huge Klan march down the block from the college. They burnt a 38-foot cross, and they said they were going to come and get us. So all of this for going to a church, going to Reverend Abernathy's church and meeting Dr. King. In fact, when we were in the church, Dr. King had told us, "You can come, but you have to be prepared to be arrested." And we thought that he was exaggerating because we were just doing research for a paper. He said, "No, I want you to be sure that if you come, you'll be prepared to be arrested." And we said, "Why?" He said, "Because Alabama white people are not allowed to come. If you're a news person or something like that, you can come, but they don't want any Alabama people to come because they don't want you as white people to find out what's going on, and they will arrest you." So at the end of the meeting, Dr. King came and said, "The police have sent word to me that you're going to be arrested." And I said, "Well, Dr. King, we have to escape." And he laughed and he said, "Well, you remember I talked to you about you need to be ready to be arrested." And he said, "Well, I'm afraid they're going to arrest you anyway." I explained quickly. I said, "Well, Dr. King, what I really mean is that we need to attempt to escape." And he said, "Oh, I see what you mean." And because we didn't want to get our parents in trouble, we didn't want to get the school in trouble and so forth. He said, "Well, said Reverend Abernathy and Mrs. Parks will take you to the back door." He said, "I'll go out the front, and if they all come around to the front, they'll let you out the back and you can try to escape." So that's what happened. Dr. King went out the front door, and just before they let us out the back, I think that Mrs. Parks had figured out that I was kind of the leader of the group of 5, and she said specifically to me, I remember she looked at me and she said, "Bob, if you find something wrong, eventually you have to do something about it, and you can't just write about it." And that stuck with me very strongly, especially because of her example that she had seen something wrong and she had done something about it. That was before she was world famous, really, or even Dr. King was Saint Martin Luther King. but it stuck with me. And so when they opened the door and 5 of us ran out the back door, it must have been quite funny, because 5 little white boys running all out through the black community, running from our own police. We'd always thought they were on our side, and now they're trying to arrest us and put us in jail for going to church. So that was when I remembered, when I think back, I think that that was a turning point in my own life. And I said, Rosa Parks is right. I can't simply study it. I can't simply write about it. I have to become a part of it. And that's when I really joined the movement in my heart. And it was not long before I joined the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, and began really a half a century of work in the freedom struggle.